Before we hop into this video, if you enjoy it, be sure to leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe to the channel for more NBA content. Alright, welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'll be discussing my Western Conference rankings for the NBA. And starting off, let's do what I did with the East and start off 15 and then work our way to the number 1 seed. So at number 15, I have the Utah Jazz, and it's really not that difficult. They just traded Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell for a bunch of picks, so they're going to be tanking hardcore. And I mean, they got Colin Sexton, who is a pretty good player, but he's coming off of an injury, and we don't know how he's going to be. And it really just seems like the Utah Jazz are going to be one of the bottom teams in the league, and that's why I have them at 15, because I know that they're tanking. Number 14, I have the Thunder. Now, I would have had them higher, but Chet Holmgren got injured and is out for the entire season. But I think because of that, they're going to lean into tanking. I don't think they would have tanked as hard this season if Chet had been healthy and was able to play this season. But I think with his injury, I think that they're going to lean into tanking and still trying to develop their younger players, but I think they're going to lean into tanking and try and get another high draft pick, and then you can have another high draft pick, and then Chet will come back the following season, and they'll be better in a couple years. Number 13, I have the Rockets. They have some good players. Jalen Green. Honestly, I just had to double check if Jalen Green played for the Rockets, because I don't really know much about the Rockets, but I know they have some good players, and I know Jalen Green is really good. He had a really good rookie season. And they have, what's his name? They got Christian Wood, and he's a really solid big man. I think they're still going to be one of the worst teams in the West, but I think that they have a little bit of a nice future. I think they're a few years away, maybe more than a few years, but I think after another high draft pick or two, they'll be a really good solid team in the future. The Spurs I have at number 12, and it's really just because you can see that they're starting to tank, but I think because Greg Popovich is still the head coach, I think they'll still be somewhat competitive, and so I think that's why they'll finish 12, because Pop finds a way to get the best out of each player, and he's just he's the best coach of all time, or he's up there, and he'll find a way to win games even with not good rosters. So that's why I have him at 12, but I also have him so low because since they traded DeJounte Murray, it's pretty obvious that they are starting to tank, because I mean, it was years ago they were building around Kawhi, but then there was a falling out and he ended up leaving, and it kind of left them with nothing. They were kind of mediocre, and now I think they've just realized they need to hit the reset button, and I think they're going to not fully lean into tanking this season, but in the coming years they will. At number 11, I have the Kings. Now, so 11 through 1 are all teams I could see making the playoffs. Because 11, I have the Kings, but I think the Kings could actually surprise me and be pretty good, because they are going to have a full season with Sabonis. De'Aaron Fox is going to get better. They have Harrison Barnes, who's underrated. They have some good players on their team, so I could see them maybe doing a little bit better than the 11th seed and maybe sneaking into the playoffs, but not much else than that. So that's why I have them at 11. A similar thing with number 10. Number 10, I have the Blazers, because I think they did get a little bit better during the offseason. I mean, Dame's going to come back fully healthy, but they managed to get Jeremy Grant, and I think he's going to be a really good addition to their team. And I could see them being the 10th team, being the 10th seed in the West and making the play-in. I don't know if they would manage to sneak into the playoffs, It's hard to tell, but I mean, when you have Dame, like, you always have a shot for something. But yeah, I don't like the rest of their roster. I mean, it really just depends how things play out. It depends if Anthony Simons is as good as like they're like hoping he is. Like, if he's as good as they're hoping he is, and Dame's like fully healthy, which I think he will be, and Jeremy Grant plays up to what he can, like, I could see them maybe surprising me and being a little bit better than the 10th seed. But just off of like everything so far and the other teams, I'm having them at 10. Number 9, I have the Pelicans. Now, I'm pretty high on the Pelicans, and I feel like they're gonna do better than what I have them ranked as, because I actually am pretty high on them, because you got Brandon Ingram just continuing to get better. You got CJ McCollum, who's a really good player, and then you're gonna have Zion coming back fully, like, he's going to come back healthy. And when Zion was playing, he was really good. So you have 3 really good players together, and I think they all kind of like complement each other well. So I would not be surprised if they actually did better than the 9th seed. I think out of all the teams like that are not like 1 through 8, I think they have the best chance of making the playoffs. Number 8, I have the Timberwolves, and like, the West is just like, it's just really hard to rank, because like the Timberwolves, I could see them being like a top 5 team, but like I just don't know how things are going to play out, because I'm really intrigued with the prospect of Rudy Gobert and Karl Anthony Towns sharing the same court at the same time, and like they're both really good centers. Like, they're both top 5 centers in the league, or maybe like top 5, top 6 centers in the league. And it's just going to be really interesting to see like how they play together. And then like on top of that, they have Anthony Edwards, who's really good, even though he fucked up and he made some comments he really should not have, and that's just messed up. But as like a basketball player, he is really good. And then they have D'Angelo Russell, who, I mean, he's had some problems with injuries, but if he can remain healthy, he's a really good player too. So like, this team could be like sneakily good too. It's hard to see where things are going to play out, and we'll just have to see how the season starts and how they do. But I'm gonna have them at number 8. Number 7, I have the Dallas Mavericks, and I have them at 7th because they lost Jalen Brunson, and I think they got a little bit worse, like, overall. But I think Luka, this is going to be Luka's MVP season or his runner-up season. And I think he's just going to play out of his mind, and I think he's going to carry them to the 7th seed. He might carry them higher, but I'm going to place them at 7 right now. I think that's where they'll end up at the end of the season, because I think Luka will just carry them, because Luka, he's a stud. He's like ridiculously good, and I think he'll carry them to the 7th seed. Maybe higher. It depends how it plays out. I know they got a little worse over the offseason, so we'll just have to see how the season starts. Number 6, I have the Memphis Grizzlies, and it's not that I'm not high on the Grizzlies. It's just they had like they were way better than like everybody thought they were going to be last year. And I think a lot of that is there was teams that just weren't healthy. Like the Nuggets weren't fully healthy, Clippers weren't healthy, Lakers weren't healthy. Some other teams weren't healthy. And I think because those teams are finally healthy, we're going to see the Grizzlies drop off a little bit. And also the Grizzlies aren't fully healthy now either. They won't have Jaren Jackson Jr. for like the start of the season, and he could miss like a significant like portion of the start of the season. So I think that will really affect their seeding too. Number 5, I have the Lakers, and really it's just because I feel like LeBron and AD are going to come back, and I think they're going to be mostly healthy this season. And I do like that their acquisitions during the offseason. They got Pat Bev, who I think is somebody they need. They got I liked the Dennis Schroeder pickup, just giving them some like backup options at the point guard position. And I just think because of like their health, just them coming back healthy and them getting younger and more athletic, and their offseason acquisitions, I think they're going to finish 5th. I mean, when you have LeBron on your team, like, it's hard for that team not to be good. And I think last year was just like a huge mix of multiple things going wrong. Number 4, I have the Phoenix Suns, and I think that they're going to be number 4 because some of the other teams, they got healthier, and I don't know how the drama will unfold with Phoenix, because you had DeAndre Ayton kind of wanting out because they weren't wanting to pay him, and then he ended up getting paid anyway, so it's hard to see like what exactly will happen. So I'm going to put them at 4th. I think there's going to be some drama, but I think they're still going to be a really good team. Number 3, I have the Warriors. And I think the Warriors were the 3rd seed last year, and they just won the championship. So maybe back to back. It'll be interesting to see. But I just think that the other 2 teams, I think they'll be better at least during the regular season because they're fully healthy now. And I just think like in the regular season, like those 2 teams, these next 2 teams will just have higher seedings, and I think they'll focus on like trying to get a high seed, whereas the Warriors will I think they'll try and focus on like getting a high seed, but also making sure like everyone's healthy for the playoffs. Number 2, I have the Clippers. You're gonna have Paul George fully healthy. You're gonna have Kawhi Leonard fully healthy after Kawhi has missed a lot of time, and I really like the addition of John Wall. I mean, we'll have to see how well he is, but I think with the amount of time John Wall has had to just recover and get back to basketball, I think this will be like kind of like one of his like his redemption season, because he was playing decent in Houston. It's just like they were tanking, so they didn't want him to play. And I think like he's going to be a big help for the Clippers, because the Clippers have really always needed a point guard, and I think he fills that role. It'll be interesting to see what happens with Reggie Jackson, because Reggie Jackson was having a really good year for them too. But we'll see what happens. And then number 1, I have the Nuggets. Now, I think the Nuggets are going to be the number 1 seed, because I think they're going to be mostly healthy this season, right? And then they're getting Jamal Murray back, and Jamal Murray is he's a fantastic player, and like just him and Jokic finally being back together. I mean, obviously we'll have to see how Jamal Murray plays. I mean, he's been out for a long time, but I think with Jamal Murray being back and the team getting more healthy, I could see the Nuggets ending up as the number 1 seed. Now, I wouldn't pick them to win the championship, but I think I could see them at least finishing number 1 in the West. That's everything I have to say. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like, comment your predictions down below, and subscribe to the channel for more NBA content. And I will see you in the next video.